All right, guys. Well, look, I don't know what's wrong with this echo. It's not terrible. I'll turn the volume down a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's just do this. Let's just do this. I don't know what's going on with my audio. I don't know how this is happening, why this is happening, but you know what? It's fine. Let's just go through this. So the Street Fighter V 2.0 patch notes came out. Let's go over these changes for a little bit. Let's talk about this. And let's see how I feel about them. I'll talk about them, maybe try to gather some notes about them. So Harrison put them out, it looks like. Harrison SBA put these out from his blog. So let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, dude, I only have one microphone plugged in, which is the weird part for me. So let's do this. So, okay, let's just go from the beginning all the way to the end. Let's just read this. Official Street Fighter V patch notes, Season 2 patch notes. Hey everybody, before we dive into the full patch notes, we here at Capcom want to thank everybody for a fantastic year and your continued support of Street Fighter V, the Capcom Pro Tour, and Capcom Cup. Next year marks the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter series, and we hope you'll join us for the festivities. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to hear the latest news. As Combo Fiend mentioned in his blog post, the team has been hard at work ensuring the 2017 season of Street Fighter V is its best yet. We've been paying attention all year long, and these balance changes are the combined result of Capcom Pro Tour tournaments, online play, player feedback, and internal testing. The goal was to ensure a rich and diverse gameplay experience with each character that both players and spectators can enjoy. In addition to the balance changes, you will find a few other features included in the patch. Direct input controller support. We are happy to announce that Street Fighter V on Steam now officially supports direct input controllers. You will find this in other settings, sections of options. I know a lot of people are having trouble getting certain joysticks working, so it's nice that that's there now. Background music select. Oh, thank God. Thank God. In battle settings, you'll be able to select your preferred music in training and versus modes, as well as casual and ranked matches. I've seen that. It's an option. You can choose the stages, or you can choose. I've seen someone, like, it might have been in the leaked version, that they had the menu there that it says that you can choose whether you want the character or the background music in for each of those categories. So that's even cooler than I was expecting. I thought it would be a wholesale, like, it's just going to be this or that, but they let you choose in all of the different sections. So that's really cool. Fighter profile radar charts, additional updates and fixes have been implemented into fighter profiles. Those things haven't been doing anything. They haven't worked, so it's kind of nice. Updated rage quit system. The current rage quit system has resulted in a significant decrease in rage quitting. That said, we always plan to take this one step further and ready to further address the issue with this update. In addition to losing league points and being locked out of online matchmaking for a set time, the following additions have been made to the system. Matchmaking update. Players who frequently disconnect during matches will now be more likely to be matched up with players who exhibit similar behavior. So it's going to be interesting. So they're trying to do this jail system, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. The same applies for honorable players who rarely, if ever, disconnect. They will be matched up with similar players. What happened in Killer Instinct is they tried to implement this jail system where rage quitters would end up facing rage quitters more often, or they would go to jail or something to that effect. But if you're super good and you beat people, like 7 people in a row, and they all rage quit you in a row, all 7 of those players only rage quit once, and it detects you as having rage quit 7 times in a row. So you get put into jail and nobody else does. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how that's fixed. Again, apologies about the echo. I have no idea why that is happening right now. Testing, testing. I do not know why the echo is happening. I apologize about that. Let me see something. Does the echo still happen right now? Is the echo still happening right now? Actually, did that fix it? That might have fixed it. No, that might not have fixed it. Well, we'll see. In any case, player profile icons. The worst offenders and the most honorable players will also have special icon displayed on their fighter profiles. League points deductions. Anytime a player disconnects during a match, their league points will be deducted as if it was a loss. Now, I'm curious to see how they're going to do this. if you end up losing, if the rage quit happens, do both players lose points? That's the question that I want to know. I need to figure out how that's going on or something. I need to figure out whether that's actually going to happen or not. And we'll find out soon enough. In any case, we got some system changes. Recoverable damage. So change recovery speed from 10 points every 4 frames to 10 points every 8 frames. So they slowed down the gray life recovery by half, in other words. So that's interesting. So in other words, you're only going to get 10 health back for every 8 frames. So in 1 second, here, let's see, there's 60 frames per second. It's going to be 8, so 7.5. So you'll basically get 7.5 health, 75 health back basically every second. So that's going to be a lot slower. I like this change because what it does is it makes it so that the recovery is slower. It makes gray health a little more emphasized, so I think that's going to be cool. Hold button moves. Change so certain special moves that activate when the button is released can be used as a buffer. Change so that certain special moves that activate when the button... So this has to do with negative edge. And this must mean when you release a button, could you not cancel into a special move with negative edge before? Or is it only certain moves couldn't and they're making it so it's universal? Not sure, but in any case, input latency, shorten the inactive frames on input confirm from 12 frames to 6 frames after the last key for a charge attack has been input. So that's not input lag, that's something else. So I'm not sure what that means. Shorten the inactive frames on input confirm from 12 frames to 6 frames after the last key for a charge attack has been. Oh, I know what that is. That's the window. In which, so basically, if you do Sonic Boom and then hit punch, before you could do Sonic Boom, wait 12 frames and still hit a button and the Sonic Boom would still come out. They reduced it to only 6 frames, so now it's easier to not get a Sonic Boom if you want to walk forward and hit a button and not do your special move. So now you only need to wait 1/10 of a second to make sure that you don't end up doing the special move instead of 1/5 of a second. So that's kind of nice. All right, so Ryu. Let's see what they did with him. So hurt boxes. They adjusted the hurt box when changing direction while crouching. That seems universal according to all the notes that I've seen from all the betas. But forward throw increased recovery on hit by 8 frames, trying to get rid of corner throw loops. I wonder how well that's going to work, because before you would forward throw, whiff jab into forward throw. Now it's probably forward throw, maybe walk up forward throw might still work, but we'll find out. Reduce stun damage from 70 to 120. I guess this is all off of the forward throw? I guess this is all after the forward throw. This is not organized particularly. You know what? I see. This was supposed to be its own colon thing here. So they accidentally messed up. This is a formatting error. No big deal. Okay, so the forward throw, reduce stun from 170 to 120, reduce critical arch gauge accrual, increase distance from opponent after throwing it, standing light punch has had a shrunk hitbox in upwards direction, so can't be used as anti-air jab as well as before. Increased horizontal knockback on hit in the air, so that way you can't jab someone out of the air and dash under them. I think they're trying to get rid of that mixed left-right mix-up. And expanded hitbox in forward direction. So I guess they're trying to make it so it reaches further instead of above his head, so it can't stop cross-ups. Standing light kicks, shrunk hitbox in forward direction, so it doesn't reach as far as it used to. Which is kind of good, because standing light kick had the same range as a crouching medium kick before, so I never understood, like, standing light kick was so much better of a move, because max range stand light kick into fierce fireball was a combo, but max range crouch medium kick into fireball was not. So, like, standing light kick was kind of a better button, like, overall, all over the place, so. Okay, standing medium punch, changed advantage, a little bit more advantage, expanded hurt box. Wow, there's a lot of changes. Interesting. Shrunk hitbox in forward direction, so they gave it less range. Standing heavy punch is a little bit slower and increased overall animation. So in other words, it has one more recovery frame, one more startup frame, so the whole thing is actually one frame slower. And only V-trigger H punch is cancelable. Interesting. So you can't do far fierce in the fireball, only in V-trigger. Standing heavy kick, changed action recovery from 18 to 20 frames. What this changes a lot is that Ryus would be able to throw this out and people could not whiff punish it. So hopefully that will not be as much of a problem as much anymore. Recovery on hit or block have not changed. So even though they added 2 frames of recovery, it's going to still be the same on hit and block. So crouching light punch, increase the duration from hitbox from 2 frames to 3 frames. Expanded distance of pushback on hit and block, so they make it harder for you to tick throw with this or get more hits off of it perhaps at further ranges. Fixed bug when mash canceling into a normal crouching light punch was not recognized as not countered even when taking a hit before the first frame of attack startup. So I guess if you chain jab into itself, the second one couldn't get counter hit, but I guess it can now. Crouching medium punch changed startup from, crouching medium punch a little bit slower, and actually it has an overall animation increased by 1. Somewhat expanded the hitbox in forward direction, so even though it's a little slower, it has more range. Expanded hurtbox around hitbox in forward direction, shrunk upper hitbox. So now it doesn't hit above as well. It's not going to be as anti-air, but it's a better poke. It's a better poke. Crouching medium kick, slower as well by increasing the animation, changed duration of hitbox. So it went from 2 frames to 3 active frames. So it's going to be a little bit better in footsies. Crouching heavy kick, changed startup from 7 frames to 8 frames. So maybe I won't get swept by it 17,000 times. Increased overall animation by 1. So it just sounds like to me that they're really shrunk hitbox in forward direction, so it doesn't reach as far. So it sounds like they're really slowing down Ryu's normals a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see if they really did reduce the input lag to see how that affects Ryu. Jumping light kick, expanded active hurtbox in downward direction, so it's not going to be as good of a button, so it's easier to hit, as well as a shrunken hitbox. Jumping medium punch, changed damage caused by the normal version. Decreased damage caused by V-trigger version. Block properties for second hit changed from mid to high. Wow! So that's actually big. So that means Ryu can do the jump medium punch mix-up now. If you block it and you crouch in between the 2 hits, you're going to get hit as an overhead. So now you have to watch out for the double jumping medium punch mix-up now. So you actually have to watch to see if it's going to be 1 hit or 2 hits. Jumping medium kick, shrunk lower hitbox, so it doesn't hit as low before. The axe kick, which is back plus roundhouse, changed recovery on block from... Man, I really wish I could fix the formatting on this. Like, you don't understand how much this is driving me crazy. Axe kick changed recovery on block, so it's minus now. So, in other words, if you block the axe kick, it's your turn now. So it's no longer even afterwards. First and second hits can be canceled into specials, critical R and V triggers. So that's going to be interesting. Collarbone breaker, that's the overhead. It's a little bit slower. Recovery on hit is now +1, but on block it's -6. So his overhead is going to be way more punishable. Way more punishable. And again, if you guys have any questions in chat and would like me to expand on stuff, please type @jchensor in the chat and I will try to answer those questions. Solar plexus strike, which is the towards heavy punch, increased stun damage and changed advantage on hit from +6 to +8. Wow. So that's why he can do towards fierce in the back roundhouse now from those betas that I was singing. Jodan Sanrangeki. Which move is that? That is Jesus. What move is that? Let's see. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry, I don't mean to make this even longer than it needs to be. I'm just not sure what move that is. Donkey kick. Oh, the target combo. That's the name of the target combo, really? Oh yeah, so that's the name of the target combo. Okay. So the target combo increased damage of second hit, so they increase the damage of it. Increased stun damage of third hit. Second hit can be cancelled by V trigger. Wow, okay. Shrunk hit back on second hit. So they just made it a little bit more useful, it seems like. The V reversal is a little bit slower, and I know that it pushes people further away and has much more delay, so you cannot get as much mix-ups. V skill, wow, so the whiff is even longer than before. V gauge accrual is much more, so if you parry, you actually get way more V gauge, so that's cool. Because you know what, people weren't using it, so I like them trying to make it better. Hadouken changed overall animation. So light and heavy both got normalized the 47 frames. So in other words, I guess the light one was faster and the heavy one was a little slower, and they made them all equal to the medium one. Decreased amount of critical art gauge, etc., etc. Hadouken in the V trigger, decreased amount of critical art gauge. So they made fireballs just give you less critical art. They let less super meter. Oh wow, Hadouken and V trigger could not be counter hit. Interesting. Okay, so they fixed that. EX Hadouken. Wow, they made it better on block. So if Ryu point blank EX fireballs you now, he can actually be plus. So now you have to respect Ryu's EX fireball at point blank range. Dang. Okay, so if he does like point blank EX fireball, it's his turn. That's going to be very important. Fix the okay, so again, not counter hit when hit out of the beginning of it. Let's see. Light punch Shoryuken's a little bit weaker during V trigger. Expanded hurt box that appears during 1 through 3 frames in downward direction. Expanded hitbox and startup during V trigger in forward direction. So it's easier to hit, but it also hits a little bit better forward. Interesting. Medium Shoryuken, decreased damage during V trigger, added hurt box and throwable box during 1 through 2. So there you go. That's confirming that the uppercut nerf. So in other words, the medium Shoryuken, which used to be 3 frames, does not have the invincibility on frames 1 through 2. So it cannot be used to escape meaties. It can still be used as anti-air, but that's going to change a lot. So the invincibility is only 3 frames afterwards. That's pretty big. So added collision box to lower body during frame 6, so it can be hit a little bit easier. But made it so it hit above a little bit better. HP Shoryuken weakened in a bunch of different ways through damage and stun. Add no more invincibility and added hurtable hitbox. Okay. Naughty Senpai asks, and again, if you want to ask me a question, please use @jchensor instead of @UltraChenTV, because I'm looking at a jchensor chat. But basically, if you anti-air with the uppercut deep, it's not really changed. You just have to time it so that they land on the 3rd frame of the uppercut. So it's like practicing Guile's flash kick. So if you want to see how it feels, program the computer to jump at you and roundhouse you and just flash kick it with Guile. You'll notice you can't do it at the last second, but you can do it like slightly beforehand and it'll still work. So it's just something that you have to get used to. EX Shoryuken hasn't changed, except it looks like it hits better actually. So they'll hit low limbs and straight out a little bit better. Yeah, no problem, Mike. I will definitely check out that. And okay, that has nothing to do with the chat. That has nothing to do with this game right now. So, light punt Tatsumaki, lowered in damage. Medium Tatsumaki, more recovery on landing, less chip damage, and decreased stun damage. Interesting. They just weakened the Tatsus all overall. Even EX Tatsu got weakened. Oh wow! So Air Tatsumaki can now juggle with Shinku Hadouken or Denjin Hadouken. I don't know if that means that they bounce higher or he recovers slower, quicker or something like that. But I would imagine it means they could be bounced higher. But that's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting change there. I want to see how much it affects, because he can't cross up Tatsu like he could in 4. So I'm really curious to see how that's actually going to change. EX Airborne Tatsumaki, so the EX one got buffed in damage and stun. Okay, interesting. I guess they're trying to encourage you to jump strong in the EX Tatsu maybe to get more damage. Shinku Hadouken, reduce pushback on block. They want to make it easier to be punished. All right, Chun-Li. Chun-Li, and again, guys, apologies. The echo, I realize there's an echo in the chat. I cannot, on the stream, I don't know what caused it. I switched some components. So I apologize about that. Chun-Li, hurt box. Changed hurt box when changing, so like I said, yeah. And then, okay, this is important. This is very, very, very important because, what is going on with this highlight? Anyways, it's a common thing that in Street Fighter, when people crouch, their hurt boxes expand from here to here. So if the character's facing this way, if it's like Dan, right? If it's Dan and he's facing, okay, let's say Dan's facing this direction. If he's standing, his hurt box is like this. As soon as he crouches, his hurt box will extend in front of him, which is what makes low blocking actually a disadvantage. You want to stand block as much as you can because you're harder to hit, and when you crouch, you get wider, so you become easier to hit. That's a standard system that has been in Street Fighter for years. Now, for some reason, Chun-Li in Street Fighter V did not obey this. She actually went from standing to crouching and never got any wider. So that was one of the things that made her footsies really, really potent, is that she can low block and stay harder to hit. So now they've made it so that she expands when crouching. Her footsies is going to be a little bit weaker. So that's really, really important. My mic is not that far away. I mean, this doesn't normally sound like this on Tuesday shows, so I don't know what's causing this echo right now. There's another microphone that's active, and I have no idea which one it is, and I don't know why. Stun, so she lost some stun. Her forward throw has better throw range. That's fine. Chun-Li had one of the worst throw ranges. And also got reduced stun, decreased meter gain. Her air throw expanded hurt box during throw in downward direction. Interesting. So they're trying to get rid of that with air throw thing to avoid anti-airs. So they're trying to get rid of that. But she also lost some throw range on this. Yeah, I actually did check the camera. I tried to turn off. It should be on this cap. Because the thing is, the camera's only connected through, I don't know, maybe that helped. I don't know. Every time I try to do these things, I feel like it helps, but it doesn't. Anyways, standing light punch. Move position that animation begins after taking damage or canceling attack forward. Accordingly adjusted position of hitbox, hurtbox, and collision box. Not sure what that means. Not sure what that means here. Delayed attack activation by 5 frames and canceling into from a special move? Huh. Does that mean it's not going to combo into a lot of buttons? Is it not going to combo into like light spinning bird kick anymore? They shrunk its hitbox, so you probably can't get 3 lights anymore. Interesting, interesting. Maybe someone trying to tell me what's wrong with my stream right now. Oh, okay. Standing light kick, so this is going to be a big one. Change startup from 4 frames to 5 frames. 4 frames to 5 frames. Increased overall animation by 1 frame, so it's a little bit slower. It shrunk the hitbox, so it doesn't anti-air as well anymore. And they made it so that it's easier to hit with an expanded hurt box. Uh-oh, the cam froze. Uh-oh. Oh, Jesus. Every time I change that setting, it kills the camera, it looks like. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies. Okay. So the standing light kick is going to not be nearly as effective, and also when it anti-airs, it's pushing backwards a little bit more, so that means that you can't dash under as well. So every time she's anti-air light kicks you, she doesn't get the same kind of mix-up that she did before. Okay, let's see. Standing medium punch. Move position that animation begins after taking damage or canceling attack forward. Accordingly adjusted. That's so interesting. What does that mean? Move the position that animation begins after taking damage or canceling attack forward. So basically what I think that means is when she starts the move, if she gets hit out of it, or if she cancels into a special move, she counts as being forward a little bit more. Which is interesting because I know they didn't do that to a lot of moves to prevent Kara throws. So I'm really curious to see how Kara throws are going to be off of standing medium punch and off of the other one that had that, standing light punch. I wonder how Kara throws are going to be. So that's something to test, is to test the Kara throw. If that position doesn't move forward in the first few frames, then the Kara throw won't work. If it does move forward in the early frames, then she'll have a Kara throw. So it'll be interesting. But they increased the active frames. Standing heavy punch, a little bit slower. Let's see. It's a little bit slower. Change recovery during V trigger. So during V trigger, it's actually slower as well. The advantage is the same during V trigger. But on hit, it's the same. Oh, in V-trigger, it is all the same. But on block, it's now -5. So she really loses a lot. So she really loses her turn a lot in that situation. Someone is trying to ask me a question, and I guess I don't see it properly. Oh, right. I see what they're saying. Okay. So they're actually saying, so what Volva's saying is that when you get hit, you stay forward, so when you get counter hit, they don't get pushed back, so that combo starts to miss. But the question then comes down to, can it be used as a Kara throw now? So that's something that we really have to test. That's something we're really going to have to test. Standing medium kick in V trigger, increase how long opponent is frozen in the air on crush counter. Standing medium kick? Increased air combo potential on crush counter. I think this is supposed to be standing heavy kick. I think that's a typo. So crouching light punch is a little bit slower, a little bit more damage, and more active. So they made it slower. It's no longer a 3-frame normal. Wow, a lot of people are going to be losing 3-frame normals. It's interesting. Okay. Crouching light kick looks like it's a better frame advantage. So it can be canceled into only Hyakuretsu. So it can only be canceled into lightning kick, because currently it can't be canceled into anything. That's really interesting because no character except like Karin can cancel crouch light kick into a special move. Now they've given it to Chun-Li only for the lightning kick. So it's really interesting that they're doing that. Crouch hard punch, reduce pitch pushback on hit for first hit. I heard from the leaked beta that meant Chun-Li ends up closer to you after a crouch fierce, which kind of sets up a really good throw game for her, so that might actually become a very useful button. Or it could end up being like a Mika crouch fierce, where when she does it point blank next to you, you really have to respect her, because I think it's like +2 on block, wasn't it? Let me see here, let me make sure, let me check really quick. Chun-Li crouching heavy punch was, oh no, okay, it was -5. Okay, interesting. So that means it's going to be easier to punish then. Crouching heavy kick, slower, less damage. Jumping medium kick, shrunk lower hit boxes. So it's not going to beat grounded moves as well. Interesting. Was that a problem? Was jump medium kick a problem before? Neutral jumping heavy kick is slower now. Wow, it used to be 5 frames? Wow, so now it's only 7 frames. So Hake, which is, which Which one's the hot K? That's back. Oh, so that's palm. Hey. Increased how long opponent is frozen in the air by 4 frames on crush counter during V trigger. So in other words, if you crush counter them, so in other words, if they miss an uppercut and you do back fierce, they're going to freeze in the air 4 frames longer, so you're going to recover technically 4 frames earlier, which means if you crush counter them in V trigger with back fierce, you're probably going to be able to get better juggles afterwards. So that's actually a buff for her. So expanded the hurt box around feet in upwards direction, so it's going to be easier to hit. Shrunk upper hit box. Delayed attack activation by 4 frames was being canceled into from a special move. Wait, how do you cancel into back fierce from a special move? That seems really, really odd. Okay, Senenshu, which is the down forward medium kick, the overhead, changed normal advantage on hit from 0 to 2. Wow. So if she hits you, she has advantage, which I'm going to guess on counter hit, that means she's going to be able to get some link combos out of that. So that's something to test. In fact, you know what? I'm going to write these down. Because I'll test these on Wednesday. Overhead. Okay. Anti-air jab seemed like they did get nerfed. Yes, they definitely did get nerfed just a little bit. So change normal activate. So Senenshu. So there we go. Change advantage on hit during V trigger from 3 frames to 4 frames. Oh, okay. So they did this so that she can do overhead into crouching light punch still. Because if you remember, crouching light punch was slowed down to 4 frames. So they definitely want that combo to work. So she'll still be able to do overhead into crouch light punch and still get a combo. Yosenkaku. The Yosenkaku is the towards heavy kick, where she does a little hop hook kick. They shrunk the lower hitbox. Interesting. So I guess some things can low profile. Oh, I'm sorry, looking at the wrong one. Change advantage on hit from 3 to 4. Okay, same thing. So they want that in the low jab to still be able to combo. So there you go. Yeah, this is going to go for a very long time. Kakuraku Kyaku, which is the flip kick, the heavy kick flip kick, shrunk lower hitbox, so it's going to be easier to low profile. Expanded the hurt box around the hitbox, so easier to beat, increased duration, so they gave it an extra active frame. Yosokyak, that's the head stomp. Fixed a bug when hit during first frame of management, it wouldn't register as a counter hit. Her V skill, when transitioning from V skill to jumping attack, changed so that the jumping attack adds V gauge meter gain instead of critical art gauge on hit or block. When transitioning from V skill to jumping attack, change so that the jumping attack adds V. Oh, I see. Before, when she did her V skill into jumping attack, it would just build critical art meter like it was a normal jumping attack. But now they made it so that if you V skill into jump attack, she gains critical art. She gains V gauge, so she has a way to build up her V gauge a little bit faster. Interesting. Okay. V skill will also gain critical. Oh, so if you activate the V trigger and then do it, it'll give critical art gauge like it did before. Okay. So V reversal, slower, much more delay. Wow. Okay. So on whiff, I guess you can. I guess so. It's not changed the advantage on block, but it's just slower on whiff. That's a weird change. It's an interesting change. But on hit, it's now has a little bit more frame advantage. And then, let's see. Oh, it has longer invincibility during the animation now. 10 extra frames. And then her V trigger can be canceled into from... So lightning kick or fireball can be canceled into V trigger, opening up a lot of new combos for her. You've probably seen some of the videos that people have been making. But it lasts shorter now, so it doesn't give as much of a reward. So it looks like all these moves here, lightning legs, spinning bird kick, adjusted knockback distance and duration on air counter so that it's easier to hit opponents in the air. We'll see how that works out. Kukoken, looks like they upped the delay of Kukoken by as many as 3 frames. So 1, 2, and 3 frames. Interesting. So in other words, they last a little longer. They're the same on hit or block, but they just last a little longer. So if you jump over it, you can punish her a little bit easier. Decreased meter gain, increased meter gain on hit. So I see. So it's probably going to be about the same, but you have to hit people with it to gain as much meter as before. Added hurt box with projectile invincibility around hands. Oh, so you can hit her in the fists. You can hit her in the hands a little bit easier, but the fireballs won't hit it. So in other words, you can still counter fireballs from closer range, but you can actually punch her hands now. So the light lightning kick, less damage. Wow, more advantage. Oh, because they want the crouching light punch to still combo, of course. So lightning legs will still combo into crouching light punch. But now you can actually perform it by pianoing, which is interesting. So now you can do piano Chun-Li combos again, which is cool because those were kind of fun. Expanded pushback on hit for last hit. So, interesting. So is it going to be harder to do combos then? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that works. So no counter hit on first frame. The medium one is a little bit slower to start up, lower damage, lower stun. Actually more advantage on hit, but cannot combo into crouching light punch. I don't know yet, Mike. Mike Loves Diana asks, did they fix the lag frames? Nothing in here I've seen says that yet. Hopefully, I don't know if that's the case or not. But yeah, now you can actually do piano for that. Heavy lightning legs, decreased damage, a little bit better advantage on hit. Lightning can be mashed. Same thing with all of this on EX. Shrunken pushback. So I think what they want to do is make it so that once you block it, she has to respect your counter pokes. Because before, a lot of times it would push her into a range where the -2 didn't really bother her. It wasn't really a problem. So if they're trying to make the pushback smaller, they're probably doing it so that it's easier to take advantage of on block, so that she has to respect a little bit more. And also, wow, increase the distance she moves forward? They made it better? They made the EX lightning kick move further forward? Jesus. Okay. Airborne lightning kicks, slower to start up, less damage, less advantage on hit. Ooh, look at this. So in other words, lightning legs will never be able to combo into low jab. You cannot combo into low jab. It's negative on block now. So if you block the EX lightning legs, you've got to deal with it. And they shrunk the upper hitbox. So it looks like you can jump over it a little bit better. Because before, when you tried to jump and she did it, she would catch you out of the air. So it would be like a anti-ground and an anti-air. So maybe they made it a little bit worse in that regard. Same thing with this, actually. They changed this from -4 to from +4 to +3 on the medium kick one. Does that mean that she can't combo into crouching light punch from this one either? That means she can only combo into crouching light kick. Crouching light kick is still 3 frames. Okay. So crouching light kick is still 3 frames. So in other words, you can... So now what happens is you can do all these combos into crouch light kick into lightning kick, as opposed to doing low jab, stand strong, low forward into spinning bird kick. So in other words, it's kind of a little more committal now. So the standard combo might be air lightning kicks, low crouching, so air lightning kicks, crouching light kick, lightning legs into crouching light punch into stuff. It's going to be interesting. test Ryu Chun combos. Okay. Heavy one, all same thing, and can't be better than just 0 frames. So it used to be slightly unsafe, but now it's 0. EX lightning legs in the air, reduce damage. Light spinning bird kick, reduce damage. Meaning same thing with medium. Heavy is actually faster now. So things are going to be able to combo from heavy spinning bird kick that they didn't before, but the damage is less. EX spinning bird kick, more recovery. So that's good. So it's going to be easier to crush counter now, because a lot of times, I mean, we saw this this past weekend. Who was it? It was Kaba who fought against a Chun-Li that I saw, and he blocked the EX spinning bird, did standing roundhouse, and it missed because EX spinning bird kick just doesn't have enough recovery, so they made it much easier to punish. And the Hoyokusen, which is a super, so decreased a little bit of damage. Interesting, every critical art was 340, so this might be one of the only ones that's lower. And vertically expanded collision box. Oh, okay. What this probably means is that the collision box is taller above her head. Because there was a lot of times when you tried to critical art somebody and you would go under them and it would miss. If the collision box is higher now, it'll push the character with her so that now the critical art will be able to be used as juggles a little bit better. So she's going to be able to land juggles into her critical art a little bit better. So Ken, standard hurt box change that they did to everybody, it looks like. His jump is actually a little faster on neutral jump. Interesting. His knee bash throw, lower damage, decreased the critical art accrual, and increased recovery on hit by 2 frames. So they tried to get rid of his throw loops, although I saw some people were saying now in the corner you can do forward throw into run into throw into run into throw. Like V-skill throw, V-skill throw, V-skill throw, and like if you just mash reversal timing it, it's actually easier to go for a throw loop now. So we'll see what happens with Ken in that situation. There is definitely an echo. I apologize. I don't know what's causing it right now. I wish I could fix it, but I'm sure it has something to do with one of these extra cameras that I have on, and I'm trying to fix it, but I don't know why I can't get it to fix. I don't know what's causing it at all. I'll try again. Yeah, I don't know what's causing the echo. I apologize to everybody. For that. Okay. Ken, standing light punch. Standing light punch. Change advantage on hit. Yeah, I saw something about this. So now that it's +5, you can actually do stand light punch link into critical art now. So you can actually get confirms of jab jab into critical art. So that's going to be interesting. Low jab, stand jab, link critical art. It's actually going to be kind of useful, I think, for finishing people off. Recording devices, huh? Let's see here. Recording devices, I don't know where that is. Audio devices, line in, microphone. Okay. In any case, back to this again. So couldn't be counter hit before. Hit stop on hit and block. Okay, so they're just trying to kill that. They're trying to fix that block stop, that hit stop thing, where like his hit stop on certain moves were shorter than other people, making it harder to see when it actually happens. So same thing here again. If you get counter hit, then you'll actually stay forward. So again, need to test Ken Kara throws. So let's see here, but actually 1 frame now, so that's a better advantage. Standing medium kick, Changed attack recovery from 17 to 19. It's another one of those moves that whiffed above people's heads and was really hard to punish. You'd see it hit a button and still get counter hit, so they fixed that. And they increased the pushback on hit so that, I guess that means if you're trying to whiff punish with it, or you basically clip people with it, that the roundhouse might not be guaranteed. The target combo follower might not be guaranteed to actually hit. So that we'll have to test there. Max range, medium kick, each target. Okay. Standing heavy punch. Increase how long opponent reels from attack by 1 frame on crush counter, making it easier to combo off of a crush counter. Expanded pushback on hit on crush counter, so they get pushed back a little bit further. Move position that animation begins after taking damage. So same kind of thing again. That thing, if you counter hit it, that it doesn't turn it into one of those buttons that all of a sudden certain combos don't hit anymore. Heavy kick, a little bit slower to start up, a little bit slower to recover as well. Interesting, okay, but the overall animation's only increased by 1 frame. Interesting. Lower damage, reduced pushback on hit. I guess that's so that if you block it at max range, it might be easier to punish or something like that. That you Kens have to use it at better distancing now than they did before. Adjusted knockback distance on crush counter. They don't say which way. Added a hurt box around the feet before 1 frame of attack startup. So in other words, it's easier to hit, so you can stuff it. So in other words, if I throw out a crouching medium kick and he does standing roundhouse, there's going to be extended hurt box in front of it before it can hit me, which means it'll be less useful in footsies. It'll be easier to hit in footsies. So that's actually kind of important. I will upload this on YouTube, yes. And again, if you want to send a message to me, please do at jchensor instead of at ultrachentv. Again, sorry about the echo. Crouching light punch has better frame advantage. Now +4. That's interesting. Wait a second. Ken frame data. Back plus medium punch has a 4 frame startup. So crouch light punch into back medium punch is going to combo now unless they changed back medium punch. So we'll see that in just a second. So extra active frame. Crouching light kick also increased. So crouching light kick will also link into back medium punch if they haven't changed back medium punch. Hang on a second. Oh, there you go. There you go. So they did tweak that. Okay. Otherwise, I was going to freak out. Okay, I was going to freak out. Crouching medium punch, slower to start up, increased overall animation, better advantage on hit. Oh, dang! So he's going to be able to confirm crouch medium punch into super. He's 3rd strike Ken. He can do crouch medium punch, link into super. Change advantage on block. So shrunk upper hitbox. So crouch medium punch, link into super is going to be good. Crouch heavy kick is a little bit slower, a little bit less damage. Jump medium punch made it so that the hitbox is better in forward direction. Jump medium kick, shrunk vertical hitbox, so it might be easier to hit. Chin buster, so this is back medium punch, is going to be slower on startup. A little bit slower to recover, so easier to whiff punish. Change pushback on hit to the same as that of a light attack. Dang, so even at other ranges, at further ranges, it's going to connect now. So in other words, the heavy punch, the likeliness of the heavy punch afterwards missing is going to decrease. So it's more common that the whole thing is going to work. Match values for pushback on both hit and block. Chin buster 2nd. Lowered the damage. Change it so it can be performed. Oh, dang, he can do this. He can do this on a whiff. So I guess that makes it a little bit harder to hit confirm or something. I'm not sure. Interesting. Can be canceled in a V skill on hit or block. I mean, it's probably still going to be minus, so it's not going to be great. The Inazuma kick. The Inazuma kick is back plus medium kick, the overhead. So the overhead's a little bit slower, much easier to punish, but has advantage on frame on hit. So overhead counter hit combos. So I wonder if that's going to be possible now. Thunder kick, which is the step overhead kick. The step overhead kick, slower to start up by giving it 3 extra animation frames, so 3 extra startup. The feint is also 3 frames slower. It's now +2 on hit, yeah, so definitely potential for both of them to give you counter hit combos. Reduce pushback on hit, so he should be able to get some good combos if he gets counter hits on that. So the V skill extended how long the opponent is frozen in the air on hit. I wonder what that's going to open up. Like, what kind of combos is that going to open up? Expanded height of collision box during attack animation. So that will push people more, just like that Chun-Li thing that I talked about. So he won't be able to slip under people as well, as easily. V reversal. Oh, thank God. They slowed down Ken's V reversal, which was super fast. At only 2 active frames. Dang, okay. And then they made some changes to the hurt box. So a little bit, so it's now only fully invincible. Oh, so it can be thrown early, just as that, then full invincibility here. And then physical strike. Okay, okay. The Hadouken reduced meter gain on activation, so same change that they did to Ryu. On hit, it's better, and on block, it's better. Wow, so they improved Ken's fireball. And in V-trigger, it's a little bit faster. So advantages on hit and block have changed, so it's actually better on hit and block. But the damage is down, less meter gain on activation. Oh yeah, less meter gain on activation, but more on hit or block as before, as the same thing with the regular one. Delayed activation when canceling the critical art, making it easier for opponent to perform V reversal on block. Oh, so there were those situations where you could do fireball into critical art, and if you block the fireball, you could not actually V reversal in time. It would actually kick and hit you before you could actually activate the V reversal. So they're changing it now, so that's not actually possible. So if you block the fireball into super, you could V reversal in between now, so it's not a guaranteed chip situation if you block the fireball. Interesting, interesting. EX Hadouken is a little bit better. So they're trying to improve Ken's fireball. That's interesting. Little slight changes to that. And then not much else changes there. Light Punch Shoryuken. Change advantage on block during V-trigger cancel. Wow, they're trying to make it way easier to punish if you uppercut into V-trigger. And removed throw invincibility, so it has no throw invincibility anymore. Same thing as Ryu's uppercut with the medium one. Cannot beat meaties or meaty throws or meaty attacks anymore. Expanded hitbox of first hit in upward direction to make it easier to anti-air properly. It might not combo into super as often as you think, but I don't think it'll change much, to be honest with you, Chatterbox. Chatterbox asks, will Ken Fireball not combo into super as often as you think? I think it'll still work in most of the situations, but there might be some max range situations before where it worked that it might not work anymore. That is definitely a possibility. And then again, same thing with the heavy uppercut, remove full invincibility on the first few frames. Hand throw invincibility, dang, okay, so again, all those are weaker. But, oh dang, so first and second hits only. So if you V-trigger cancel from it on hit, you actually have way more advantage than before. So you have way more time to do stuff. Double the time almost, a little over double the time. EX Shuriken, when first 3 hits hit opponent in the air, opponent can no longer perform quick recovery. Huh. So if I do uppercut into EX uppercut into V trigger, the opponent can't quick recover anymore. That gives me a hard knockdown? What? Alright, I'm gonna have to test that one. That one's strange. Okay. EX Shoryuken and V trigger. Made it easier for all hits to be successful when used a part of an air combo. That's fine. When first 3 hits hit air opponent. Yeah, same thing. That's interesting. Expanded hurt box during 2 frames of animation in forward direction. Added hurt box around the hitbox of first hit. Shrunk hitbox. Reduced pushback on block. Okay, so they want to make it so if he tip hits you with the tip of the light kick Tatsu and you block it, he doesn't push you farther away, so it's easier to punish on block. In V trigger, looks like mostly kind of the same things. Medium kick Tatsu, lower damage, expanded hurt box during 3 to 5 animation in forward direction. Overall shrunk hitbox during attack. So they're just nerfing the Tatsus overall, it seems. Heavy Tatsumaki normal. Change attack startup from, so it's quicker to start up. It's quicker to start up now, but they changed the damage distribution on hit, increased meter gained, changed advantage on block from 2 to 4, so much more punishable. Much more punishable. So that's good. And then during V trigger, damage distribution changed again. Increased air combo potential, so that means he's going to get better juggles with that. So we'll have to see how that works. Reduced time between first and second hits. Okay. EX Tatsu, expanded collision box during attack animation in downward direction. So that means it'll push people a little bit more. Does that mean if he does it like next to you that he won't fly as far away? He'll actually push you a little longer and then fly away? That's interesting. I'm going to have to test that out. Airborne Tatsumaki, expanded hurt box. Not going to be as good to avoid anti-airs like it used to be. And he doesn't start to move by the first frame. He actually only moves on the second frame. EX Airborne Tatsumaki, shrunk hitbox in down direction. Yeah, EX Airborne Tatsumaki, reduced damage, shrunk hurt box, expanded hurt box, reduced block stun by 6 frames. So if you block EX Tatsumaki, I want to know how punishable it is now. Interesting. Guden, I'm going to assume that this is the super, and expanded the base hitbox in upward direction. So basically there were those times when you would do uppercut into critical art and it would miss because the opponent is too high. It looks like they're expanding the hitbox upwards so that it becomes, so that it won't miss as often. So that combo will happen a lot better. Okay. Right, yeah, I have to test a bunch of, obviously if the EX Air Tatsu hits lower enough, then it should still be safe, so we'll have to test that out. But